The Śūraṅgama Sutra, Volume 6, 61. It is an expedient easy to master, an appropriate teaching for Ananda, and for those floundering in the final age. They should use the ear organ to cultivate a perfect penetration surpassing all others. That is the way to the true mind. Thereupon, Ananda and all in the great assembly experienced a clarity of body and mind upon receiving such profound instruction. They contemplated the Buddha's body and parinirvana like someone who, having travelled far on business, knows that he is on the road home, although he has not yet returned completely. Throughout the entire assembly, the gods, dragons, and all the eightfold division, those of the two vehicles who were not yet beyond study, as well as all the bodhisattvas of initial resolve, as numerous as the sands in 10 Ganges rivers, found their fundamental mind, and far removed from dust and defilement, attained the purity of the Dharma eye. The bhikshuni nature attained arhatship after hearing this verse, and limitless beings aroused the matchless, unequaled heart of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. The 4 clear and decisive instructions on purity. Ananda straightened his robes, and then, in the midst of the assembly, placed his palms together and bowed. His mind was perfectly clear, and he felt a mixture of joy and sorrow. His intent was to benefit beings of the future as he made obeisance and said to the Buddha, "Greatly compassionate Bhagavan, I have already awakened and attained this Dharma door for becoming a Buddha, and I can cultivate it without the slightest doubt. I have often heard the Tathagata say, 'Save others first, then save yourself.' That is the aspiration of a bodhisattva. Once your own enlightenment is perfected, then you can enlighten others. That is the way the Tathagats respond to the world. Although I am not yet saved, I vow to save all beings of the Dharma-ending age. Bhagavan, those beings are from the Buddha's time, and there will be as many deviant teachers propounding their teachings as there are sand grains in the Ganges. I want to enable those beings to collect their thoughts and enter samadhi. How can I cause them to reside peacefully in a way place, far away from exploits of demons, and be irreversible in their resolve for bodhi?" At that time the Bhagavan praised Ananda in front of the whole assembly, saying, "Good indeed! How good it is that you have asked how to establish a way place, and to rescue and protect beings who are sunk in the morass of the final age. Listen well now, and I will tell you." Ananda and the great assembly agreed to uphold the teaching. The Buddha told Ananda, "You constantly hear me explain in the Vinaya that there are 3 decisive aspects to cultivation. That is, collecting one's thoughts constitutes the precepts. From the precepts comes samadhi, and from samadhi arises wisdom. These are called the 3 non-outflow studies." "Ananda, why do I call collecting one's thoughts the precepts? If beings in the 6 paths of any mundane world had no sexual desire, they would not have to undergo a continual succession of births and deaths. Your basic purpose in cultivating samadhi is to transcend the wearisome defilements. But if you do not renounce sexual desire, you will not be able to get out of the dust. Even though people may have some wisdom and the manifestation of jnana samadhi, if they do not exterminate sexual desire, they are certain to enter demonic paths. At best, they will become demon kings. On the average, they will become members of the retinue of demons. At the lowest level, they will become female demons. These demons all have their groups of disciples. Each claims that he has accomplished the unsurpassed way. After my nirvana, in the Dharma-ending age, these hordes of demons will abound, spreading like wildfire as they openly practice greed and lust while claiming to be good, knowing advisers. They will cause beings to fall into the pit of love and views and lose the way to Bodhi. When you teach people of the world to cultivate samadhi, they must first of all cut off the mind of sexual desire. This is the first clear and decisive instruction on purity given by the Tathagatas, the Buddhas of the past, the Bhagavans. Therefore, Ananda, if cultivators of jhana samadhi do not exterminate sexual desire, they are like someone who cooks sand hoping to get rice. After hundreds of thousands of eons, it will still just be hot sand. Why? It wasn't rice to begin with. It was only sand. If you seek the Buddha's wonderful fruition with a body of sexual desire, then even if you attain a wonderful awakening, it is still based on sexual desire. With sexual desire at the source, you will revolve in the three paths and not be able to get out. Which road will you take to cultivate and be certified to the Tathagata's nirvana? You must exterminate the sexual desire which is intrinsic to both body and mind, then get rid of even the aspect of extermination. At that point, you have some hope of attaining the Buddha's body. What I have said here is the Buddha's teaching.